Welcome to the Anti-Hustle Business Podcast. I am your host, Shannon Whaley, and I'm here to help coaches, consultants, and service providers like you build profitable, sustainable online businesses without the hustle or the burnout that's so prevalent in the online space. I am here to show you that there is a totally different way to do business that doesn't leave you burnt the fuck out and hating your life. It's time to ditch the hustle culture and embrace a new way of doing business. So get ready to redefine success on your terms and build a thriving anti-hustle based business where you have more money, more naps, more travel, more freedom, more whatever the fuck you want in your life. So buckle up and let's dive in. Hi, this is the final episode for season 5. Very excited. There have been 12 episodes for the last 5 seasons, so that's a lot of episodes. I was a psych major, so I can't do math real fast unless it's just simple addition and then I use my fingers. So that's exciting. I need to go look at the stats to see how many countries that it's been listened in and downloads and all of that. Probably something I should pay attention to on a more regular basis. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. The feedback that I've gotten is that this has been really helpful. I'm always open to hearing more about what you're interested in, what you want to hear. I usually do themes for each season, even if it's not said out loud to the listener. I behind the scenes have themes for each season. And so next season, I was potentially thinking of doing something more around like coaching, not just business, but like ICF stuff, since that's been top of mind. So I'm going to start this episode with some brags and some celebrations because I haven't done that maybe since the very beginning of the episode or of the podcast. And then I'll get into what I'm going to talk about today. So one thing that I'm celebrating. So I have been ICF credentialed. I've held my ACC credential and now I hold my PCC credential. And I got my PCC in 2017. And so every 3 years, you have to have 40 units of continuing education units in order to renew your credential. So, of course, I leave it until the very last couple of months and then I'm cramming, which is that's not the point of what these CEUs are for. And so the last time, which was last year in December, so it comes up at the end of December every 3 years. So December 2024 was when I had to submit 40 units and just I got it all done. I had mentor coaching, I took some classes, and I said, you know what? I am not doing this anymore. I am going to make sure that I have my 40 credits before I have to submit my renewal. And so I have deleted the dating apps. I have not been dating. I stopped dating in July of this year when I ended things with I'll be honest, we ghosted each other. So things ended in July, 4th of July. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I deleted all of the apps. I deleted all of my profiles and I decided that I was just going to take classes and live my best life. So guess who has all 40 units by the 10th month of the year? So I don't even need to submit anything until December of 2027, but I already have all 40 units. And obviously I'm going to be getting significantly more than that just because I love learning. But I've been taking different courses. So one was like a really meaty course. It was 10 units and it was cognitive behavioral coaching. And so that was really great to see that that's literally one of the modalities that I already use on top of somatic coaching and just like positive psychology and taking different things that I've learned through leadership coaching and that sort of thing. And what else have I been taking? So I've been taking ADHD, like neurodivergent courses and coaching courses, like how to make accommodations, things to look out for. And also one of the things that I'm doing, I have I'm doing client work instead of coaching. And so I'm running her social media platforms. I'm creating all of her newsletters, creating all of her content for her Facebook group and Instagram and business page. And I think I already said newsletters. So I'm just pumping out tons of content. I'm managing her Facebook group and helping to create the conversions and then handing any leads from the group over to the sales team. And so I have been considering going to another coach training program for recovery coaching. So that's something that I have been thinking about in the meantime. So I've been part of She Recovers since I started coaching back in 2015, since I got sober. So 2013. Oh, I brag that my 12-year anniversary sobriety is on the 7th. So here just in a couple of days. I've been sober so long now that I forget how many years I have sober and my sober date, but I have a tattoo on is this my clavicle to remind me? And okay, so back to that. So I went through She Recovers, one of their training programs, and finishing up like the capstone project. So I went through all of the hours of the material, and now I just need to write out my answers to the packet and the questions. So that is on the way. So I have a little bit of recovery coaching, but not enough for me to feel confident to actually call myself a recovery coach. So that's something that's on the horizon. And because I have gotten my ICF credential, this will be the third renewal. So I had the initial passing of the credential, and then I've renewed 2 times. So that's 6 years. This will be the 9th year. I have more than enough hours to move into my MCC. So that's something that I'm also considering doing. And I'm actually working through a lot of mindset stuff around that about it just sounds so dumb to admit out loud, not being good enough. What if I do all of this and I don't pass it the first time, which you can take it multiple times. But being a perfectionist, and I passed the other 2 exams on the first time. And that's my expectation of myself, to hold myself to that standard. But there's investments, like monetary investments for each way. So I am weighing out which one I want to do first, what feels good, what's ego-based and what is actually interesting to me, and then what like feels easiest, like the path of least resistance, which I think is probably the MCC, but that's also pretty ego-based because I've always wanted to get my master's in something. And so I'm in limbo with that, but it's all on hold until my income moves back up to where I want it to be so that I can confidently pay for that instead of putting everything on cards. So that's where I'm at with that. I went hiking yesterday, and it was along Cinque Terre, which is about an hour from where I live here in Italy. And it's just fucking magical. It's so gorgeous. It's like turquoise, green, and blue see-through water and the colorful homes. It's on the Ligurian Sea, which is also known as the Italian Riviera. So it's very bougie. I could go there 1,000 more times and still squeal like a fucking schoolgirl inside. I don't know what it is about this particular part of Italy, but I sometimes feel like this when I go to Rome, but I just fucking love these little villages. I think they're just so cute and picturesque and quintessential, and I love taking people there. It's really it's not lost on me that I live in a place where people save a lot of money so that they can come here once and have the trip of a lifetime. And it took me an hour to get there on the train, and I can literally go there every day if I wanted to. I could move there if I wanted to. And I love when friends come and I get to take them there, and it's just like I get to see it again from new eyes and like the sparkles. And I'm just like, isn't it so pretty? I just love it here. And so while I was on the trail, one of the things that I have really been thinking about is how do I combine recovery and Italy? Because I've done one retreat here. I actually sold out a retreat, was on the way to sell out another retreat, and then COVID fucking happened. And so I had to refund everybody their money. And then I realized like it wasn't priced right, that it was a long time. There were going to be a lot of people. And I was like, I don't have the bandwidth or just like the mental capacity to manage all of this. And I never ran another retreat like that. And I had a retreat for my masterminders, and a masterminder came, and then another client came who wasn't in the mastermind. And so we had a very small, intimate retreat. And I was like, I want something like with a little bit more structure, not too much, because then it gets out of control and it's just, oh, we're just like knocking shit off. But while I was on the hike yesterday, I was like, I want to have more of an impact in my business. So many of my clients come to me for business coaching. And yes, we get their businesses up and running. Yes, they get their programs and everything priced. But there's such a personal transformation that happens with my clients. And that's the shit that I love. I love helping people create businesses and make money and get out there and get on stage and be flown out to different events and be keynote speakers, and watching former clients launch their books and sell out their offers and go viral and make it big on TikTok. And also, the reason that I got into coaching was I just wanted to help women have and live just more like bigger, bolder, like audacious, unapologetic lives. Because so many of us play by the rules. We do all of the things. Like, I got married, I had the house, we had the animals, I graduated from college, and I was like, this is it? What the fuck? And then relationship after relationship. And then it was just like, as I got older, like what the things that I had done in my life weren't making me happy. And so I had to undo all of those things, whether they were done for me or I blew it up and undid it myself. This goes back to when I was in college and why I chose psychology. And I was working as a drug and alcohol counselor, and I wanted to work with teen girls in particular to help them with body image stuff and help them feel more confident. And so this is all really rooted in the work that I started when I was 17 years old, when I started college. So now at 46, I'm like, how can I actually live that out and like truly live that out? Because business coaching was a fucking accident. I just stumbled into the business coaching piece or the marketing piece. I really love the more personal stuff, the confidence stuff. So many of my clients have started to really examine their relationship with alcohol. They have gotten sober. Multiple clients have gotten sober and are celebrating sobriety days, and also built their businesses. But with that comes confidence and knowing themselves and showing up fully and setting boundaries and holding boundaries and figuring out who the fuck they are and all of this messaging stuff. Like, it's really about unraveling all of the things that you've been told about yourself, about who you should be, about how you should act, about how you're supposed to show up in the world, and like figuring out who you are meant to be and who you want to be, and how do you just let the rest go. And so that's what I really want to be doing. So I'm in this like weird fucking limbo of my business. I also brag that yesterday because I want more community and I want more queer community. And so my friend Hannah Dixon, who runs Digital Nomad Kit, she also has this group. I cannot think of what the name is, but it's around queer entrepreneurs and business owners. So introvert me, believe it or not, very introverted. Introvert me signed up for a networking event online. And so I went last night, and within a couple of minutes, they're like, okay, we're going to go to breakout rooms. And I could just feel my body be like, I hate this already. And I'm very happy I went. I met lots of new people from around the world, lots of queer people from around the world. And so that was a huge win too. And I was like, I just want to do more of this. Like, how do I get paid to do more of this? So that's what I am over here figuring out and trying to make money in the meantime. I just want to say this too. Literally everybody on this call, I think there were like, I don't know, 12, 15 of us. Everyone is pivoting. Everyone is adding something else in. They're changing direction. They are adding in a new demographic. They're scratching the demographic that they had and they're completely switching gears. Every person on the fucking call is pivoting. And so I know that this right now feels really fucking hard for a lot of people in the coaching industry, in the online space, because of what's happening in the world, because of there's just the money's not there for a lot of people. And if you are feeling this, if you are wondering, like, am I alone? Because I was like, I hate that we are all experiencing this, but it also feels nice that it's not just me. I'm not a fucking loser. My business doesn't suck. I don't suck. Like, it's literally everybody that I've been talking to has changed their business in some way. And the marketing is changing, the landscape is changing. So that leads into what I want to talk about today. And I have feelings about the concept thought leader, but for like lack of better word or concept, that's what we're going to go with today. I don't like the concept thought leader because it feels like Jay Shetty, who is known to be like a plagiarizer. It feels really fucking bro-y to me. And my problem with it is when people get too far into thought leadership, it feels like it's very egotistical, like it's very ego based, and it's I'm right, you're wrong, listen to me, I'm the one that has the right answers. And so that's why I fucking hate that term. And also, I don't know what else to call it, but it's like stepping into your leadership and how to show up as a leader. And so I guess we could remove the thought leadership part, but so I'm going to use that interchangeably. Some of you love that term. Some of you are like me and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good on that term. So just know that those are my feelings around it. But today's episode is particularly for those of you who have something to say. You have a big message and big thoughts and feelings about things, and you like have a mission. You want this to be bigger than you. You want to be leading people to their greatness, to their biggest, boldest, most authentic lives, and trust that people need to hear your story from your voice. And that is the basis of what you're doing and why you're doing it. But maybe you are also simultaneously wondering, how the fuck am I going to pull this off? Are people going to pay for this? Like, what could this even look like in the middle of what's happening in the world? Like, why is my voice important? I don't know about you, but I've been having like an existential crisis, probably weekly, like a month or so back, it was daily. I was literally crying every day for a couple of weeks because it's just, what's the fucking point? But once I pulled myself out of that, I feel like I'm mostly out of that. I did have a couple little crying episodes today. It's okay. We have to go on. And I know that what I've gone through is impactful. I know that me sharing my story is important. I know that people resonate with the way that I do things and how I say things. And so I do trust that my message and my story is important. And so this is what I want to talk about today. What might be coming up for you is maybe you're posting and you're sharing, but maybe you feel like your message isn't landing, or you're sharing value, you're doing the value posts and all of those things, but it's not really building momentum. So I'm also in this with you as we're talking about this, of figuring out what these next steps are. And so if you want to be a thought leader, if you want to be a leader and someone like the go-to person, then, and you're not sure how to make the leap from just another coach, just another service writer, to someone that people trust and listen to and follow and binge, then this is the episode for you. This is an invitation for you to step into that leadership. And I'm going to show you how to do that without hustling, obviously, without feeling like you're performing, and without the like imposter syndrome or that spiral that people get into, feeling like, oh, it's like an identity issue. Want to break free from the hustle and grind and build a successful business? I've helped thousands of clients and students leave their 9-to-5 jobs, travel the world, land their first clients, close 5-figure sales in the DMs, and grow their businesses to 6 and 7 figures. Want to know more? Visit antihustlebiz.com and transform your life and business the anti-hustle way. Okay, back to the show. The online space is fucking loud. It is so noisy and so loud. And the things that cut through all of it are when you have clarity, perspective, a valuable perspective that people want to hear, and resonance, that what you're saying is landing for people. So it's not about being the loudest, although I will say that's definitely what it looks like, right? Because the people who are showing up as leaders, they are loud, they're consistent. And I feel like that's, to me, there's a difference. When someone's loud and like obnoxious, it feels like they're moving out of their thought leadership and more moving into that ego place that is repellent, right? Other people might fucking love it, and that's the beauty of this work, is that you're going to attract and repel accordingly. Stepping into your leadership and having something that people want to listen to, it's about talking about things that matter. And it's about being, again, that consistency piece, making sure it's clear, that it's thought out, that you have put thought into what you're saying, and that you're coming from your values. And so this ties into the episode that I did last week as well, around how to show up, how to talk about your values, how to be not the loudest and most obnoxious, but how to be really fucking clear on who you are and what you're doing and what you stand for, and inviting people to step into their own leadership. So they're looking for someone to guide them. Your people are looking for guidance. That's why they're hiring mentorship, right? So they're looking for inspiration, especially with everything that's going on right now. They need someone to model for them what's possible. So that's why sharing your wins, brags, money wins, whether it's publicly or in the spaces that you're in, like in the Facebook groups and all of that, it's so important to see other people doing it scared, doing it like shitting their pants, doing it when they are nervous and feel like they don't know what they're doing. They need to have that modeled for them. And then they need you to say the thing that they've been thinking, but they can't put into words. I have seen that so much lately, where I've been like trying to say something, and I'm like, no, like this isn't like the essence of what I want to say. And then here comes someone else saying it, and I'm like, fuck, this is exactly what I've been trying to put into words. Thank you so much. That's what we want people doing with our work. Let's talk about and name the gap between just posting content and actually leading conversations. So thought leaders have a point of view. They're not afraid to name the thing, to speak out loud about what's broken, calling people forward, calling out systems, calling out the things that aren't working, but then providing a fucking solution, because otherwise you're just bitching about things that are broken. So one of the things that will really make you stand apart from the people who are complaining, like, are offering a solution. This is what's wrong with the coaching industry. This is what I'm doing in my programs to change that. Boom. That already sets you apart, because people are like, yes, that is what's wrong in the industry. Oh shit, I never thought that I should do that, or that was available to me. Thank you so much. I'm going to start implementing that. And it also speaks to what people can expect in your containers and in your programs. So these leaders, they're not just regurgitating what other people are saying, they're actually creating their own thoughts and sharing constructive, new ways, new innovative ways of doing things. Thought leaders also stay in their lane. So they talk about their main core themes on a consistent basis all the time. And that is how you build the trust, is that when you are consistently talking about the same thing, consistently bringing an awareness to things, having a consistent message, it's not just about the volume that they're putting out, but it's about how you're seeing the same thing over and over, and then different ways of doing the same thing, of talking about the same thing. This is what's wrong in the industry. This is what I'm doing. Here's an example of how I'm changing things. Here's how I helped a client change things in their own business, or whatever the work that you're doing. So whether it's around, this is what's wrong in the health industry, or the diet industry, or like the fitness industry, of these are some things that I'm seeing. You'll never see me talk about X, Y, and Z because that goes against my values. Here's why. Boom, like immediately that sets you apart. So think about what are some things that you can start talking about, or what do you need to dial in and get way more specific and consistent about? So thought leaders bridge beliefs. They meet people where they are, and then they walk them to a new perspective. So thinking about what this could look like for you. This is an opportunity for you to shift minds, to open hearts, and to build up this movement that you want to be creating. So for me, it's, as I started thinking about it, it's like, why is it important for women to have mentors, especially midlife women, to have mentors who are going after their biggest, boldest lives? Because historically, we've been told, play by the rules, get married, this, and like, we've had a prescription of what our lives are supposed to look like. And so we don't have a roadmap, because oftentimes we're the first ones in our families doing this. I know that I am. Like, all of the women in my family before me got married young, had kids young, and that was their fucking life. And maybe they got divorced, but then they got remarried, and that was fucking it. And so for me to be 46, child free, no husband, living by myself, traveling around the world, I am the first person in my lineage to ever do this. So I don't have a fucking roadmap. So I need other women who have done this, who are doing this, who are currently doing this, to inspire me, to remind me that I'm not alone, to remind me that I'm not, maybe a little bit crazy at times, but that this life, I get to choose what I do with the second part of my life. And I need to see other women doing that, so I can be inspired, so I can feel less alone, so I can feel seen and acknowledged, because I'm not going to fucking get that anywhere else. So you have the opportunity to do this for your own audience. And now imagine that there's younger women looking at my profile, and they stumble across my reels, or they stumble across whatever, and they're maybe in their 20s or 30s, and they're like on the fence about getting married, or on the fence about having kids. And then they start following like child-free people, and they're like, hold on, I have a choice. I don't have to do these things anymore. Okay, now what? Once I realized that this way of life, how I'm living, was actually an option, I was like, fucking sign me up. I don't have to do things the way that it has been done in the past. And so this is why social media, this is why I have a love-hate relationship with social media. It's fucking awful in so many ways, but it's so amazing and so inspiring in other ways. You get to be that for your community. So here's what I want you to do this week. So number 1, clarify your point of view. So what sets you apart? What is your work really about? Like I said, like I'm a business coach, but my work is really about helping my clients uncover and discover themselves. The business stuff is secondary. How does this set you apart? Number 2, pick your 3 to 5 content pillars. What are you going to be talking about consistently? Perfect if you pick 5, because that means that you can just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What do you want to be known for? What conversations do you want to lead in your space? And then have those conversations over and over and over again in different ways. Map out the belief bridge. So what does your audience currently believe? And then what do they need to believe to buy, to work with you, to say yes? How do we start to shift them into this next step? Your job is to close that gap. So this happens one post, one podcast, one story at a time, bridging that gap, closing that gap for them. So that is your assignment for the week, those 3 things. Clarify your point of view, pick your 3 to 5 content pillars, and then 3, map the belief bridge. That is all I have. If you are ready to step into your own leadership, if you want to take this on as a thought leader and redefine what that means for you, then send me a message. We can talk about one-on-one. We can talk about business school. We'll do this in either of those programs, but come find me on the socials at the Shannon Whaley. Come share your thoughts in my Facebook group. All of the information is in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being here for 5 seasons. I appreciate you so much. And I will be back next week. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Anti-Hustle Business Podcast. I hope you found inspiration in the message and that you got some actionable next steps that you can implement right away in your business to start seeing results and moving the needle. Remember, you don't have to sacrifice your well-being or your mental health to achieve success. So prioritize your pleasure, play, and rest while you build your business around your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps me reach more entrepreneurs like you who want to do business in a completely new way. For more resources and to connect with my community, please visit my website at antihustlebiz.com and follow me on Instagram at @TheShannonWhaley. Until next time, keep taking those strategic anti-hustle steps toward building the business and life that you love. Take care.